Hey guys, we're just going to jump right into it today. Obviously, this is a little different. I'm at my house. Today's Monday. Blake's not here. Immigrace is not here. Bryce is not here. Anything like that. I just kind of wanted to have a real sit down because of what happened in our city this past, not weekend, I guess the end of last week. So, as everybody who lives in Arkansas knows by now, but we have some people who watch who are outside of the state. So, if you don't know, last Friday, the state of Arkansas was devastated by a couple tornadoes that came through. One went right through basically the heart of the city of Little Rock, which is rare. I feel like oftentimes you don't see tornadoes that go through like heavily populated areas. And when they do, they cause a ton of damage and potentially a ton of injuries, and so on and so forth. And then you have the second one, which really hits home for me, was in Wynne, Arkansas, because a lot of my extended family lives in Wynne, which was absolutely devastated. An EF3 tornado went through Little Rock, and I believe an EF4 tornado went through the city of Wynne. So all of that to say, the state as a whole was devastated this past Friday by a couple massive tornadoes. And so obviously this episode is not going to be, as long or as like goofy as we may make our other ones, because there's a time and a place for that, and there's a time and a place to be real. This is obviously where our business is located in Little Rock, but this is also my hometown. This is, Blake's hometown. Emma Grace is from North Little Rock, and it went right through, North Little Rock and Sherwood as well, up to Jacksonville and south of Cabot. Bryce is from Little Rock. So the four of us, I mean, it hit really close to home. And this is our hometown, just like it, maybe yours. So this is something that's extremely meaningful to us. You just never really expect it to hit this close to home. That's something that's supposed to happen elsewhere. It's not supposed to happen to you. So as the weekend went by and we saw the complete devastation, and if you're watching the video version of this on YouTube, then you can see the pictures going across your screen now of some different things that we witnessed and experienced, as well as some other things that made the rounds from the damage that was done. But when you grow up in a place like Little Rock, I've lived here for 23 of my 26 years. I went to Conway, to UCA for 3 years. But other than that, I've basically lived in West Little Rock my whole life, and where we currently live today. And this is real people and real damage that was done to everywhere that we grew up around, to everywhere that we especially realtors, like we drive these neighborhoods every single day, and that's our job. We drive these neighborhoods every single day, and we know a ton of people who live in the area, who live in these neighborhoods that were affected. And so this weekend was just like checking in on people and doing whatever we could to help. We made our rounds through parts of Midtown, and then yesterday ended up in North Little Rock, helping out a lady in her house that was absolutely destroyed. Luckily, they were out of town and safe, but that is not a fun sight to come home to, obviously. The best news of all of it is that it happened at like 2:30 in the afternoon, instead of 9:30 at night. If it would have been that, I think the thing that they were saying on the news was like they were reporting it on the nationwide news, like the news for the country. They said a tornado has gone through basically the heart of Little Rock. This is, all the hospitals go into mass casualty orders, and things like this. And somehow it's a miracle the way that it has gone to this to this point. I think that if it would have been at 10:30 or at 9:30 at night, or when people were sleeping or overnight, something like that, we probably would be looking at a mass casualty situation. But thank the Lord that it happened when it did, because material things can be replaced, and obviously it's a horrific situation. You absolutely never want to be in this situation at all. It's terrible. But the fact that people are okay was good, and it was really cool to drive around and see different interviews and just talk to people in the city, and just hear their reaction to everything. It was kind of like, hey man, it kind of embodied what I feel like is like Little Rock. You see those things like when that happens, like hashtag Arkansas Strong or hashtag LR Strong and that kind of stuff. And I really felt that. It was like tangible. It was obviously devastating to see my hometown and places I've been for 20 years, get shredded up. But at the end of the day, the people are what make the town. The people are what make the city. And we'll bounce back. And I'm excited to be a part of that. And I'm excited to assist in that. And I'm excited to see what that means for our city over the coming months and over the coming years as we build things back. Coming from my perspective, someone who didn't even being affected by this, it was still terrifying. I had just gotten home from an appointment. It was a Friday afternoon. My wife's job, they have some interesting hours to where they work a little longer throughout the week, and they get off at noon on Friday. So she was home. She'd actually been at Target in West Little Rock, which it went right through there probably an hour before. And then she came home. So we were both actually home, and I heard the sirens start going off. My mom calls me at that point, and she's like, hey, they're saying your neighborhood on the news as, somewhere where this tornado is, basically. So we turn on the news. We're watching. I'm on the phone with her. We take our dogs and we go get in our bathroom. And then, all of a sudden, after my mom has basically said that, and we're watching the news and we're seeing, on our phone where this is in relation to us, it's extremely close. Our power starts flickering. We lose internet, so our TV, it basically goes out. The call with my mom drops. So it is like instant silence, instant helplessness, instant not knowing, like we're potentially about to get hit by a tornado. And, as I'm sure most people were, our cell service was down for a little bit. Eventually, it's been a couple minutes by this point, and they said it was moving really, really fast. So it's been a couple minutes. We don't really hear anything. We don't see anything. Still, stuff is not working. So I go outside and look, and it looks like it's past. About this time, my phone rings, and my dad calls me, who works at Baptist Health. And he said, hey, we just saw it basically go right by. And he sends me this video, which I'm sure you've seen by now. It's like the infamous video of it from Baptist Health, where you can see how, defined and how like clear it is. And he was like, are you guys okay? We saw it. It was like right in your area. We could see it from the hospital. So we were not even affected, but you drive out of our neighborhood and it's like just crazy sights, just absolute. It is unfathomable when we drive out of our neighborhood and look across and see the Calais Forest apartments on Napa Valley, just absolutely shredded. Literally, it was like just shredded. It was it's honestly hard to put into words. It was terrifying, and it was a crazy experience. And it was devastating to see, the town and the city that we've grown up in be in this state. And so this whole episode and everything is all to say that, at Pillar, like, please reach out if we can help in any way, despite the fact that none of us were personally affected, like with our houses. It's kind of an emotional an emotional deal, but there are people who got it way worse than us, obviously. And so all that to say, if we can help in any way, I know there's a lot of work to be done, and we've worked in the city in different areas, but if there's a specific need that somebody has, we've got we've got some people who can, lift some tree stumps or do whatever we need to do to help the community. So please reach out to us. You can donate to the relief effort down in our bio. We have tagged that today. So please help out. If you're unable to, help out financially. If you can, help out physically as Little Rock builds back, better because we're Arkansans, baby. We're Little Rock folks. And I know exactly, what we're about. And we will build back, and we will recover from this. And if there's anything we at Pillar can do to help, please reach out to us directly on social media, DM us. Our phone numbers are out there, so please reach out. We would love to assist however we can. But other than that, tune in next week. We will be back to our regularly scheduled programming. Thanks, guys.